Hey, my peeps, I'm Mistress Gray, and this is my YouTube channel where we chat about whatever. How have you guys been doing? I've been surviving, you know. Okay, I wanted to do something fun for Valentine's Day, and since I love Disney, it was a no-brainer to rank their romances, specifically the Disney princesses ones. Though with how lazy I've been, who knows when this will come out. Okay. And I also know that ranking Disney princess romances has been done to death, but it's still fun. And I'll be ranking the official Disney princesses as of 2021. So no Elsa, no Anna, no Tinkerbell, and no Anastasia. All the years I've been fighting that she wasn't a Disney princess has now become in vain with that Fox merger. I'll also be basing the listing mainly on the original animated films, though I will pay some lip service to the extended material when I have something to say. Even with this limited listing, I'll admit, this was a bit hard to make as I have nostalgia for so many of these couples. And this list will probably be different if you ask me on a different day. Alright, and since this is my personal list, if you disagree, tell me about it in the comments. Who is your favorite Disney princess romance, or even Disney romance in general? Okay, let's get started with number 12. Moana x No One, because there wasn't a romance in this movie. Number 11 is Merida and No One. She is higher than Moana because she technically courted herself. Okay. I'll start talking about the actual Disney princess romances. Sue me for having fun. Cinderella and Prince Charming. This movie wasn't a romance. It was just a fairy tale movie. You know how stories often have women just be prizes for the guy characters for being good, and basically that's what the prince is in this movie. True equality at last. But seriously, in the OG movie, he's just a pretty face for Cinderella to smooch and get a happy ending out of. Prince Charming contributes very little to this relationship and romance. He gets to dance and has a line or two, but he doesn't even get to be the one who looks for Cinderella. His dad does that. Like, come on, man. If you're into this girl, at least do something. Though, I will admit that this face speaks volumes about his personality. And Cinderella 2 was better for their romance than the original, because they had conversations with each other. But the best thing for this couple was Cinderella 3.
I forbid you to take another step down these stairs!
Okay.
Like, these two didn't really get to know each other during that movie, but they were likable enough that you wanted them to be together. And that's probably because the movie went out of their way to change the characters to do so. Such as having the prince be the one who's out looking for Cinderella with the shoe thing, rather than his father. If I had included the sequels, this couple would probably be higher. But as of the original Disney movie, I only care about one of the members of this romance. And that's not a great legendary couple in my opinion. Number 9. Snow White and her prince. This is another non-romance where the prince is just a reward for the Snow White being nice. I think Walt Disney himself said that this movie wasn't a romance, which I do agree with, but I couldn't find a source for that quote, so, don't take it too literally. However, even without this movie being a romance, and these two spending very little time each other, they're still cute together. And I'm more invested than in Cinderella's romance. Like, take how Snow White is singing about how much she'll enjoy seeing her prince again. Like, unlike Cinderella, where the prince wasn't even a thought in her mind, Snow White does occasionally think about the prince. Or how, when we first see these two interact, Snow White freaks out and runs away, but the prince doesn't chase her like a creep. Instead, he waits for her to come back. Good on you, dude, for doing the bare minimum. Okay. And, I mean, he did still climb over the wall, but considering the evil queen is around, he gets some leeway from me, because I'm pretty sure that evil queen stepmommy gets in the way of true romance. But even with that, there's still a few things I like to point out about them. Like, take how Snow White straightens up her hair before she goes back to see him. Like, that's so relatable to me. It's not a grand sweeping moment like Cinderella's dance with the prince, but a small and very human way of wanting to look good for someone you like. And I know it's not canon, but I also have a soft spot for that Snow White comic where she makes this prince out of a bucket and some scarecrow stuff, and the human prince comes along, puts on the bucket head, and tells her, "I'm Prince Buckethead." And it's just a nice little sweet thing, which is probably why a similar scene appears in Sleeping Beauty with Philip and Aurora. Speaking of them, Aurora and Philip. Here we have a romance where the prince does most of the work, as he has the majority of the screen time and personality. To be fair, I do think Aurora has more personality than she's given credit for, especially for how little time she has on screen. Though this mostly comes from the animation.
Oh, we need more, dear.
Lots more.
Yes. Now, don't hurry back, dear.
But don't go too far.
And don't speak to strangers.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I mean, look at that smug face she makes when the fairies are trying to get her out of the house so they can set up her surprise party. She knows what's up and is already mentally counting all her presents. However, she can't show much personality when she's asleep, and that's for most of the movie. Prince Philip, on the other hand, has personality in spades. He's charming, and it's sweet how he's willing to throw away everything for her, though considering how he walks around his father, he might not have actually been risking anything.
You can't do this to me. Give up the throne, the kingdom, for some nobody? Why, Harry, I won't have it. You're a prince, and you're going to marry a princess.
Now, Father, you're living in the past. This is the 14th century.
Nowadays, I'm still the king, and I command you to come to your senses.
And marry the girl I love.
Exactly.
Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye, Father. Marry the girl you... No.
But he does risk things when he fights Maleficent for her, so he still gets some points. Some. And he loses those points for being creepy. When he first meets Aurora, he grabs her hand when she was trying to run away. Look at that. Look at that. She straight up slapped his hand away, and he still grabbed her again. Yeah, after that, she chilled out, and they had a cute exchange and a nice romantic song, but still creepy. Still creepy, dude. And on a brighter note, I do like both of these parties, and they do have nice moments together. But the little screen time they share and Philip's creepy moment kind of weigh them down compared to some other Disney couples. And I can't really think of much expanded material that I've seen of these two. So, there's that, I guess. Number 7, Pocahontas and John Smith. Here we go. A romance where both parties are given weight to the story. How shocking. It's also a bit more of a mature romance. and some of the other Disney films, as both characters are more mature than other Disney protagonists, being adults, and they also know that there are other things that are more important than their romance, even if they both still deeply care for each other. And I enjoy how they share a love of exploration and share their cultures with each other. At least until John's racism decides to pop right on out.
Wait! There's so much we can teach you. We've improved the lives of savages all over the world.
Savages?
Not that you're a savage.
Just my people.
No. Listen, that's not what I meant.
I mean, they try to make him as charming as possible to help that racism pill go down. And he does shape up really quickly, but it still drags the couple down. It makes it so that Pocahontas has to do much of the emotional labor teaching him not to be racist. I get that while no one is born racist, no one is also born with a perfect understanding of how not to be racist. But it doesn't exactly put me into a shipping mood when one of the characters has to teach the other not to be racist. And also, while John does stand up to Radcliffe and defend the natives, I'm not convinced he would have done so if he didn't think Pocahontas was smoking hot. And it's also a bit hard for me to get into this just because I know how the real-life Pocahontas, or Matoka, as I believe her birth name was brutalized in real life, and how tragic her life was. It's just, like, some people can watch stuff and enjoy it regardless of context, but this makes it a little hard on me. Well, let's move on to a happier couple. Like the one where the guy was legally obligated to kill the girl. Wait a second. Number 6, Shang and Mulan. This is not so much of a romance, but the start of one built on trust and friendship. And that strikes a chord with me since I fell in love with my husband after we built a friendship. It's also nice that the romance is only allowed to move forward once Shang gets over his misogyny. Dang, I can't say that right. Hatred of women. Okay. Like, it functions as a nice microcosm of the movie, and it's more tolerable to me personally than John and Pocahontas because I like the characters better. Like, Mulan is relatable, endearing, and hardworking. Shang is cute when he has his guard down.
Captain Li Shang. Leader of China's finest troops. No, the greatest troops of all time.
And somehow he's still fun even when he's hopped up on testosterone. I also feel like he would have spared Mulan's life even if he didn't think she was hot. And their interactions are fun, and even if they didn't end up together, I still would have loved their friendship. Also, they both have a strong love of their daddies. And then the sequel happened. Like, that sequel just made these two terrible people and terrible for each other. Like, if I was counting sequels, I would not have this couple so highly rated. Like, it would probably be below Merida and Moana. I hate the Mulan 2 movie that much. But that's a video for another time. On to the next couple. Number 5, Ariel and Eric. I'll admit, these two have a romance that's a bit shallow, as they only know each other for about 3 days, and a lot of their romance is just big dramatic moments and montages. Also, Eric was kind of hypnotized for like a lot of that 3rd day, so we could probably even par that down to like 2 days that they've known each other. However, I don't think that makes this relationship a bad one. Just a fun and fantastical one. As those montages do a lot of work to build this relationship. And these two are fun interacting off each other. They also work really well because Eric actively listens to her.
You know, I feel really bad not knowing your name. Maybe I could guess. Is it, Mildred? Okay, no. How about Diana? Rachel?
Ariel. Her name is Ariel.
Ariel? Ariel?
Unlike her father, King Triton, who constantly talks over and dismisses her. Like, that is just cinematic perfection. Also, I enjoy the characters individually as they're both dynamic, and therefore I kind of want them together just because I like them both so much. Alright, who's the next couple? Number 4, Naveen and Tiana. I really enjoy how these two improve each other, rather than one just doing all the work and improving themselves. Like, they spend a lot of time just getting to know each other and enjoying being around each other. And even if it doesn't start off that way. Like, they'll sass each other but still grow closer. And like, they'll joke without being bitter. Which is surprisingly rare in couples, sadly, I think. And Naveen's awkwardness around Tiana when he's trying to impress her is quite frankly adorable. The only thing that brings this couple down is that forced breakup / double cross where Tiana thinks that Naveen has betrayed her and married Lottie or whatever. And it's just like, no! Like, Ray should not be the one pointing out that if Naveen is human, both of them should be human. And that the Naveen they saw is probably a fake or something else. Like, Ray should not be the one pointing this out to Tiana, even if she is a bit emotionally scarred from having her heart broken. Like, come on. And I'm really excited to see how that Tiana TV show handles these two characters and how they interact when married. Because that's going to be a bit of a different relationship than a lot of other Disney characters. Because, like, how many Disney princesses do we see after the wedding? I mean, I guess Cinderella in the Cinderella too, but that really wasn't much of her and the prince interacting. So I'll be absolutely fascinated by this. Also, I kind of hope we get to see a little Tiana and Naveen baby. Melody can't be the only Disney princess child, offspring, whatever. Give me the babies! Number 3, Aladdin and Jasmine. Now, here's a couple I really do enjoy. These two are absolutely great together. Like, yeah, Aladdin is a bit shallow, originally liking Jasmine because she was hot. But, come on, physical attraction is a part of romance. And he quickly becomes amazed by her as a person, you know? And their relationship quickly becomes more. They find camaraderie in each other.
That's better than here. You're always scraping for food and ducking the guards.
You're not free to make your own choices.
Sometimes you feel so...
You're just...
trapped.
And freedom in each other. Like, yeah, Aladdin lies, but that comes from a place of insecurity, rather than just him being a jerk. Though Jasmine probably does forgive him a little quickly, considering his lies inadvertently helped Jafar kind of take over the kingdom. But Aladdin also risks his life to make it right. And I'm just kind of glad that there isn't a third act breakup or a liar reveal, because that's a bit worn. However, this couple really shines in the Aladdin TV show. Yes, the series was flawed and had dumb couple stuff like Aladdin lying when he forgets an anniversary. But they really become, well, equals, fighting side by side with each other. And when Aladdin was going to sacrifice his humanity just to be with Jasmine, like, tell me that's not grade A shipping material right there. Like, give me more of that good stuff. Number 2, Belle and the Beast, or Adam. I know I said earlier that I don't like it when one party does a lot of the emotional labor for the other, or that I don't like the girl fixing the guy, and that's still true, but let's be fair here. Despite these common misconceptions, that's not really what happens in the original film. It happens in the in-betweenquel. Like, yes, Belle doesn't whoopify the Beast. She doesn't change him, and she doesn't take his crap.
That hurts!
If you'd hold still, it wouldn't hurt as much.
Well, if you hadn't have run away, this wouldn't have happened.
If you hadn't frightened me, I wouldn't have run away.
Instead, it's the Beast who has to change himself to be worthy of Belle. And it's only once he does that and he starts showing that he has consideration of what Belle wants, that she starts to soften up to him. He also enjoys the things she enjoys.
Could you read it again?
Well, here, why don't you read it to me?
All right.
And I'll admit, though, that it's not number 1 because of that whole kidnap plot. Like, yes, there were extenuating circumstances, and that they put a lot of work to make this couple not be Stockholm Syndrome. And it's important to note that the romance was only made official after Belle had been freed, and thus had mostly equal footing with the Beast. But he still kind of kidnapped her dad, kidnapped her, and terrified her, which, is not the best way to, like, this is the best way to do that kind of story, but it's still not the best way to start off our romance. But I'm a little forgiving of it, just because the story is so well told, and I enjoy these two together so much. And I enjoy them individually as well, which is kind of a big factor in couples for me. I kind of like to like both parties as well as the relationship. But that's just me, though. Number 1 is Flynn Rider and Rapunzel. Like, I love these two so much together. Like, yes, these two have a rocky start, but like, it's so much softer than, say, kidnapping or racism. These two also gain so much from their relationship with each other. Flynn becomes less selfish, Rapunzel becomes freer, and they both find a new dream in each other. Like, these two are also so much fun together. And it's just great to see them bond. I love to see how Rapunzel's determination, passion, kindness, and naivete plays against Flynn's cynicism, selfishness, swashbuckling, and wit. And they both genuinely sacrifice for each other, even if Flynn's sacrifice kind of negates Rapunzel's sacrifice. I just love both these characters individually, and I love their relationship. And the sequel series, for the most part, maintains and builds them up and the relationship. I mean, I would definitely recommend it for any fan of the movie, even if it doesn't perfectly match the movie. It's still a fun adventure series, and it does right by this couple and these two characters individually. Okay, I think that's it for now. I'll leave all the materials I used in the description, I should say. I won't leave it in the comment. That would be weird of me. And I'll also... Oh, you guys should leave the clickety-click things. Like, subscribe and stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye now.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have